Welcome to Marvel Ultimate Alliance Part 2, and today we're going to be showing off the shield access point. Aside from it being a save point, it's also going to be where we change up our teammates. By the way, you'll have a lot of heroes there by default, but there's going to be some heroes that you're going to have to unlock, like for instance the Silver Surfer, the aforementioned Nick Fury, Daredevil, Black Panther, Blade, and also Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange. With Silver Surfer being the hardest one to unlock because there are comic missions that'll be showing up later on in the game, and then all of them were a pain in the ass to defeat. By the way, there is one other character for the PS2 version that, while he is unlockable, sort of,
the Human Torch,
it's randomized and it's part of a glitch because of the fact that Activision and their infinite wisdom cut him out for this game, no, for this version of the game, and the Xbox version of the game as well as the Wii. Wait, no, actually no. It cut him out for this version of the game and put him for the Wii version of the game, and that's Colossus, as you see here. You see his picture, but he is not anywhere to be unlocked. And do you want to know why? Again, Activision is bullshit. Activision cut him out, put him for the Wii version, but also put extra heroes for other versions, like the PSP version, I think has Swordsman and Captain Marvel, and I think the Xbox 360 had Hawkeye. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Ultimate Alliance has its ups and downs. The downs being it's made by Activision. But it's still a good game. Still a good game regardless of the BS. Anyway, the teammates I picked up is Iceman, Captain Marvel, and the Human Torch. But before we get on to that, we're gonna have to actually kill these guys and replace that reactor. So we're gonna have to do that, and the only person that can do that is Wolverine because he has super strength. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Ms. Marvel, now known as Captain Marvel, thanks to Marvel trying to push Captain Marvel multiple times and failing miserably, I think 8 times, yeah. And they made a movie that's going to be coming out next month, and I really do not like the way this movie looks. It is terrible. And also the person who's acting in the movie is a total douche muffin, which is Brie Larson, so that just makes things even worse. It has nothing to do with her being a woman, it has a lot to do with her being wooden as hell. Anyway, I prefer the Captain Marvel that I'm playing with right now, as opposed to the New Age Captain Marvel. Just saying. And speaking of people I prefer over the New Age, Iceman. Iceman had some sort of witty ice puns. He's always smart aleck, but he comes through in the flash, and more importantly, he's sort of a playboy. Not as big as Tony Stark, but a playboy nonetheless. And then Cena Grace got to him and turned him into a disgrace that we happen to know from the new Marvel comic that has been made. He's pretty much now the black sheep of the X-Men. Well, in my opinion, thanks to Cena Grace.
See you around, sucker.
And then we get to the Human Torch, as well as the rest of the Fantastic Four. Fox and Marvel just screwed those guys over. Seriously. But the Human Torch was one of my favorites out of the Fantastic Four. Especially because of the fact of those 2 iconic words, Flame On! But yes, here's their abilities. Ms. Marvel, while she can't lift stuff, she can give boost to people and shoots ionic blasts, and the longer you charge it, the more powerful they become. She also has an ability where she can fly into enemies and she can go Nova eventually when she gets to a higher level. Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch,
Got it.
can temporarily create a fire shield that burns people, shoots flames, and also can shoot flame at the ground while in midair. He's also another character that can fly, just like Ms. Marvel, and at the same time, the Human Torch can, if I'm not mistaken, throw random fireballs at people. Iceman, he's kind of a special one him too. Iceman has the ability to freeze enemies, and he also can surround himself with ice, he can shoot icicles, and he can also freeze fire. And that's the other thing, there are hazards in this stage. Johnny Storm can literally bypass all of the fire hazards, whereas Iceman takes double damage. And I didn't just get Iceman so that I could show that off. I was going to get Iceman primarily because I'm more comfortable with fighting with Iceman in this stage. Why? Because the ability to freeze. I mean, use the elements to your own disposal. And look at this. Human Torch, he is absolutely broken in this game, and I love it. Also, I forgot to mention that there are teams in this game that if you put teams together, like certain factions or certain special factions, they'll get boosts and buffs that'll help them out throughout the entirety of stages. Like for instance, if you put the X-Men together, they'll get a boost. You put the Fantastic Four together, they get a boost. You put the Avengers together, they'll get a boost. You put certain people like Luke Cage and The Thing together, they'll get a boost. The fact is, the more you work with a team, you can not only level up the players themselves, but also level up the team factions so that their boosts will get stronger.
Sure thing.
And you gotta play as that team for certain levels and certain missions. And certain, side missions, I do believe. But thankfully, these missions are replayable, so you can constantly grind and get yourself some more levels. That way, you'll be able to be strong enough to take on the most sinister of people. Although I do make a mistake here while using Iceman. I'm trying to show off to use the... Oh god, I accidentally stepped into the fire. That was an accident. I was trying to maneuver around and I got careless and accidentally stepped into the fire. But what I was trying to do was freeze the fire, so that way the fire can be destroyed and you can actually get some items from that, like some orbs or some coins. And only Iceman can do that. And Iceman can also freeze the fire, and yeah, I did not mean to do that, bruh. I seriously didn't mean to do that. And Iceman can also freeze the fire in later levels, like the Mandarin stage, so that he could, Oh, and I was trying to use his, like, ultimate Iceman attack, where he just, freezes an area, and I did not mean to freeze the... I did not mean to kill Iceman, I really didn't. He'll come back, don't worry. By the end of this, part he will, because if you actually wait a while, he can be revived later on from the shield access point.
No wonder the chicks dig me.
Granted, I'm going to use Iceman again later on, and I'm going to switch out other players, but at the same time, I did not mean to kill Iceman. People are going to thumbs down my video for this. So what we're going to have to do is destroy all of the destructible items, basically. If not as the Human Torch, then as Wolverine and Captain Marvel, because Iceman's dead. And as you destroy both of these consoles, well, there's nothing you can basically do because the missiles is going to launch. That's why I haven't talked about this, because all you're doing is just destroying objects. I mean, easy enough, but this is something that is going to happen no matter what you do.
I've just been informed that one of the nuclear missiles launched.
So, on that note, now you're going to have no choice but on a race against time, you're going to have to stop the missiles from being launched. So, with that said, we're going to have to go after... Wait, was that Bullseye? Yeah, that was Bullseye. He's in this game too. Go figure. Ah, Bullseye. I feel so sorry for you, man. That Netflix show really fucked you up, man. Not gonna lie to you. Oh yeah, and by the way, so long as your hero is down and out for the count, he or she is not gonna gain any experience points. But once they're revived, they could go back to being able to be gaining experience points. Sorry, I screwed that up. Anyway, this is Bullseye, and Bullseye, I gotta say, he's got 3 different nemesis. I do believe it's Daredevil, Hawkeye, and I forgot the other one. Was it Doctor Strange? I'm not sure. But definitely Daredevil and Hawkeye. Because this guy, he's an assassin, and he's more than likely what Deadshot is in the DC universe. Except Bullseye's a straight-up psychopath, and Deadshot is killing people just to take care of his daughter. Basically. So, with that said, it's time to deal with Deadshot. Deadshot has projectiles. And that's all you basically need to know about him. He has bombs, he has guns, he also has explosives, he'll punch you, and also the Ultron Warriors will keep trying to bombard you. But Johnny Storm can melt away Bullseye's HP really fast. And if you feel like you're getting, well, overwhelmed, you can always beat up the Ultron Warriors to gain some life. And, of course, the Ultron Warriors are going to constantly come because they're how you're going to survive the battle. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel, all Captain Marvel needs to do is just lay the smackdown on Bullseye. Because Bullseye's gonna block, except for his back. Oh, and by the way, he's another person that has adamantium. But it doesn't really matter because Bullseye, well, he's dead. So we're gonna pick up whatever we claim from Bullseye, and we're gonna stop that missile from blowing up all of New York. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we are done with this mission. All that is left for this helicarrier is the engine room.
The masters of evil are attacking or stabilizing it.
And although Black Widow was supposed to not engage the enemy, she engages the enemy. But Black Widow is still cool. I like Black Widow. Nonetheless, folks, I'll see you guys in the next episode as we try to save the engine from being destroyed by the Masters of Evil, which is the last part of this stage. This is RVman985. See you guys next time in part 3, which is going to be a 2-parter because it's pretty long.